Good afternoon and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and this is my assistant, Cream the Cat. There you go, Cream. We are going to be finishing up the Lego Marvel Series 2 action figures today, or minifigures, not action figures. Let's see, we got all three of them here. They got a Dodge. Really? Really? Put your tail away. Oh my god. Where did you even knock that guy? Oh, here he is. Okay. So, as long as it didn't break, good. Okay, we've got three minifigures here to talk about today. Wolverine, Storm, and Beast. I saved the X-Men for the end. Situate Wolverine, there we go. All right, so I know I'm going to be doing a 1/12 scale best of the, a best of 11 best of for 2023 in the 1/12 scale line. For some reason, that's hard to say. I have intentions of doing that video later. I'm going around trying to figure out which one of my 1/12 scale action figures I picked up in 2023 is actually worth the best of video. And so far, I've got 9 out of the 11 I need, and I'll be getting that video to you before the end of the week. So be prepared to look out for that one. Now, today, like I said a minute ago, we are finishing up our Lego Minifigure Series 2 on the Marvel series. The knocked over Wolverine again. The things that we have covered so far in this. In December, we covered the first three, and the second three, and the third three, and now we're here at this three. This was really lucky. I bought 2 boxes of the Lego Minifigure Series 2, and, Lego Marvel Minifigure Series 2. Good grief, I cannot get my words straight this morning. Okay, so I bought 2 of those boxes, and I got incredibly lucky. There was nothing to tell me whether or not one box was different from the other box. I just crossed my fingers and hoped that whenever I opened it, I didn't find an Echo or a Hawkeye or something like that. Well, no, wait, Hawkeye wasn't in the first box. Anyway, turns out I got lucky. The second box of Lego minifigures actually had the second half of the Lego minifigure series that I'm currently talking to you about today. Amazing, right? I know. What are the odds? I didn't do anything special. I just hit buy, and I purchased a second one after I enjoyed the first one so much. And also, there was a sale selling them each for $45 a piece for these little box sets, and honestly, you can't beat that deal. So Wolverine keeps falling over, so we're going to talk about Wolverine first. We're going to set Beast and Storm off over here to the sides, and let's get this Wolverine done so he can go and live in the Lego City. I've been wanting these guys to live in my Lego City so badly, but I have not wanted to do that yet to let you, to talk about him here. So Wolverine comes with a pinky puppet. Yeah, pinky puppet. Actually, it's not a pinky puppet. It's a sentinel head, but it's one of those hollow round pieces. It's like the top of one of the canisters or a an air tank or something like that that you get in Lego. It's the top half of that thing, and that's apparently painted like a sentinel head. It's hollow on the inside, has no sorts of studs or anything. Well, I mean, there's a stud on the top that's got a hollow point in the middle, which is very useful for having Wolverine jump over it, but the underside doesn't have any sort of negative studs. It's just a hollow area you can put your pinky into. And it does come with one of those fun pieces, these little horns that are clear that allow for jumping effects and stuff, and that's what I was using to have Wolverine jump over the Sentinel head. Let's set the Sentinel head and the little jumpy thing down there, and let's talk about the Wolverine here. Now, Wolverine came with some extra hair, which was pretty nice, but I've misplaced it. His headpiece, though, is excellent. I do love this Wolverine head sculpt, this little helmet he's got. It's little eye holes in it. It's got that nose covering. Like, it's a great little addition. I know this is Wolverine when I touch it. I mean, either that or it's some crazy, bat-themed person because of these little wings on either side of his head. Now, this is a good Wolverine. The claws are interesting. I was expecting the claws to be something where you take off the hand and then you put on a little looped piece of plastic that will be sticking in there. But no. It's just three little claws that are attached to this little peg that you can stick in their hand. I was thinking that it was going to be much cooler than that, but that will work because Wolverine can have his claws out and hold things. So there is no Wolverine having his claws out while holding swords. Sadly enough, that is kind of a letdown. It would have been cool to have a fun piece that went between the hand and the arm and held in there with friction. That would have been really neat. And then that would have allowed his hands to be open to do things like drink beer and stuff. So that is the Wolverine. Otherwise, this minifigure is typical of other minifigures. You tell me if the paint's good. Let's set the Wolverine off down here next to his Sentinel head, and he's been jumping over. You're either gonna fall backwards or you're gonna fall forwards. Make up your mind. Thank you. Okay. Next step is let's talk about the Beast because I really enjoyed the Beast, and then we'll talk about the Storm because that was a little bit of a complicated figure. So Beast here also was a bit of a more complicated figure than normal because he came with a micro build of a microscope. Actually, one of the nice ones that has the two eye holes instead of one of the stupid one eye hole things. I hated those single eye hole microscopes because I could never get my other eye to close so I could focus through the other thing. And it's just something up in my eyes when I was younger. I couldn't get one to close, so I ended up just taking an eye patch and putting an eye patch on anytime I had to use a microscope. And yeah, I could see well enough to use microscopes at some point. But this is a fun little one. It uses a binocular piece and this little weird, like, foam piece looking thing. It's weird. Anyway, all these pieces come together quite nicely, and you get an excellent little microscope. It's fun. It only takes like 5 pieces or something. Really good build. Ooh, but you can't put it together upside down, or else there's just not enough room. This thing is such a tight build that if you put the binoculars fat side down, you're going to break it. Fat side of the binoculars has got to be up, the skinny side down towards that. And it's a little fun build. It's an excellent little build. And then we have Beast over here. Let's just take Beast off of his little platform and let's put this little Cream. We'll put this build on the platform here. All right, and there we go. What are you up to, Cream? Huh? Do you have something you wanna contribute to the video? No? Okay. So just set that there. Alright. Beast here has some fun hair to him. His hair is big and bulky and it comes out on either side, kind of like Wolverine's head thing. And I mean, honestly, yeah, they are very similar when it comes to those how their hair works. They both have the same cowlicks. The Beast also came with a coffee cup for Xavier's mansion, apparently, and he's still holding it, but it will be kind of just dished into the rest of my coffee cups at the cafe. So that will be just something else added to the cafe. The one in Assembly Square, of course. Now, nothing much about this figure. He apparently has some good paint work, according to other people, but it's just really nice that he's got this headpiece that is distinctly Beast and allows me, as a blind person, to understand exactly which character I'm holding. I don't like it whenever they give you well, that's a negative I have for other figures. You've heard about me and Mr. Knight, how I don't like him because he doesn't have any sort of bald cap or something. They just leave an empty stud up there on top of their head, and as a blind person, I can never tell which minifigure is which. I'm just like, come on, people. Get creative with it. Give us a bald cap. Give us something to let us signify that this isn't just a minifigure who lost their headgear. So we're going to put the microscope back in Beast's hand, and we're going to put Beast back on his little platform. I'm going to set Beast down over here. Now, finally, we're going to talk about one of the more amazing ones of this series, and it's Storm. Not only does Storm have a really fun, really cool mohawk. I love this mohawk piece. This is a new mohawk piece, I think. Or at least it's new in the sense of I've never come across this mohawk piece before, and I love this mohawk piece. It's excellent. It's wonderful. Her cape was interesting. You had to put it under her head like normal capes, but then you also had to take off her hands, like I wish we had done with the Wolverine. And you take off her hands, and you slip the cape in, and then you put her hands back in. And the cape hangs out on the underside of her hair. Yeah, hangs out between the connection of her hands and her arms. And she came with a couple of lightning effects that she's holding right now. And there's enough movement in that cloth on her back so that she can actually move her arms all over the place. That's pretty good. Good movement there with her arms. She has got some great stuff going on with her. She didn't really come with anything else except for the clear horn that she can use as an action effect to get her. I have her kind of in a running pose, like she's leaping in the air and running. So I just like that. I really do like these action effect pieces that were included in every one of these minifigure series, and that is the best part about this minifigure series. So far, I've used these pieces in all sorts of things. The tiny Ant-Man, the little micro figure that you got with Goliath. I have him jumping out of a potted plant in Assembly Square. The florist's shop. She's got some potted plants out front, and I put him jumping out of one like he's been scared away by a beetle or something. Of course, I also put a cat underneath him that's ready to pounce. Like the cat has just been walking by and sees an Ant-Man jumping from a pot and goes, "Ooh, snack." So I love these little effects. I have one where I have a Goku figure that is off-brand, and I have him leaping off the building and flying away. I have also used it so that I have the mother and baby figures that came with Assembly Square, like tripping over and falling off the side of the building, and it's obvious Goku's about to save them. Now, that is the Marvel Minifigure Series 2 completion. We're finally done with the entire Minifigure Series 2 for Marvel, and my overall rating of it is I did not like the wolf figure. I was a little disappointed that Mr. Knight didn't have something on top of his head. As a blind person, I never saw Mr. Knight, so I and the audio description for the Disney shows is not the greatest. So sometimes they miss entire things about a person's costume, and then you find out later from somebody else. You're like, "What? That was on the costume? Huh? I wish the audio description had said that." So I went around assuming that he was wearing a bowler cap because he's British and they call him Mr. Knight. So anytime a British person's called Mr., in my head, I put a bowler cap on them. So I assumed he had a bowler cap, and when he didn't have a bowler cap, I was a little upset. I was like, "Really? Really? You're not going to give this guy a bowler cap? He deserves one, man." Anyway, the wolf figure was absolutely terrible. It was the worst figure in the entire lot, and I feel bad for anybody that's got that. Like, it didn't have anything special about it. It had a stupid headpiece. It just wasn't right. And with the fact that Lego's done the mascot figure, hi cream, the mascot figures and different heads, you could have given us a unique head mold for the wolf. Now that would have been really interesting, and I would have really loved it. You've done unique head molds for other Disney products, so why didn't we get a unique head mold for the Wolfman? But that question being asked, Heart Cream, yes, I love you too. I'm going to let you go with that for now, and I hope all of you out there are having a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and I will be tuning in next Prime with the best 1/12 scale action figures of 2023. Isn't that right, Cream? Yes, yes, isn't that right? Cream. All right. Thank you again for watching. Until next Prime, bye bye for now.